Okay, so we're trying things a little bit differently. You should be able to see me on the TV in there. And that way you can kind of just do your worksheet and follow along with me on the TV rather than having to flip back and forth. Okay, so property of real numbers, day 2. We talked about real numbers. Okay, all numbers are real numbers. Any numbers in the entire world are real numbers. Okay, within that real numbers, there are 2 types of numbers. I want you to think about it, what they are. Okay, they're rational and irrational. Okay, rationals consist of fractions, repeating decimals, and terminating decimals. So like prices, change, stuff like that. And then there's integers, whole numbers, natural numbers. Okay, so today we're going to work on graphing real numbers. So the first one, obviously, I made super easy. So here's my expectations, okay? I'm the person who grades, so you need to do it my way. That way, when I grade it, it's either right or it's wrong, okay? I don't do like, well, you half kind of got it right. No, you're in high school now, so did you get it right or did you get it wrong? Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, draw yourself a little number line. Okay, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. On all of these, you're going to draw a number line, and you are going to draw 3 tick marks on your number line for every single one of these. Okay, your center point is the point that I'm really going to be particular about and look at. So your center point is going to be a whole number that's going to match up to whatever the center point should be. So in this case, your center point is going to be 0. Okay, and on number lines, we always go 1 up and 1 down. So 1 up would be positive 1, and 1 down would be negative 1. Okay, this one's really easy because the number is 0. So you're just going to draw a little dot on 0. Okay, the next one says negative square root of 24. So same thing, draw your number line. Draw your number line, and we need 3 tick marks. Okay, now here's what I will tell you. Today is going to be a day where you're going to need your phone. Okay, and I don't say that very often. I have an iPhone. Those of you guys that don't have an iPhone, your Android should be something similar. Because of COVID, we cannot use calculators, so your calculator is going to be your phone. If you don't have a phone, that's fine. There are calculator apps that you can download. And if you can't, let me know and I will get one for you. Okay, so when you're using an iPhone, make sure your auto rotate is on. Okay, you need to turn your phone sideways. Okay, and when you do that, you always have to type in the number that's on the inside of the square root first. So in this case, it's 24. So you're going to type in 24 on your phone. Okay, and then you're looking for a button, and it looks like this. It's a square root of x with a little bitty 2 on the outside. Okay, and it's in the second row, and it's the third one down. Okay, so we're going to push that, and that gives us our decimal approximation for that square root number. Okay, so, and it's in the second row, and it's the third one down. And then we know that it's negative on the outside, and so you can either imagine that same number negative, or there's a plus minus button on here. It's like in a clearish color, not clear, gray. Okay, so we can push that. So now we know approximately what that number is as a decimal. And we just need it to 1 decimal place, so we're going to say negative 4.8. So we got negative 4.8. Okay, so now we know what this decimal is approximately. So now we can kind of get a better idea of how to graph this. So our center number should be the nearest whole number, and it should be kind of a middle number. So our center number in this case is going to be negative 4. Okay, because with the number line we only use whole numbers, okay? And then we go 1 up, 1 down. So you're going to have a negative 3 and a negative 5. Okay, so, and 4.8, some of you guys are going to have a hard time with the negative ones. You need to think, should it be closer to the 3 or closer to the 5? Okay, 480, do you have almost $5 or do you have almost $3? You have almost $5. So it's going to go somewhere closer to the 5. You don't want it exactly in the middle because that's 4.5. So somewhere closer to the 5. And then above it, you should label. So it's really negative square root of 24 is that number, okay? And this is what your number line should look like. Okay, that's what your number line should look like.
Yes, honey.
Yes, dear.
Can I come back and watch your YouTube video on it? Because my PDF thing won't load where I can do the thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Work.
Is it Denver?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It'll be on there probably by lunch. Okay, the next one. This one's fairly easy. So you're going to draw your graph. And 3 tick marks. You have a center point. In this case, same thing. Our center point is going to be -2. And we're going to go 1 up, 1 down. So, -1 and -3. -2 goes on -2. Okay, this one was fairly easy. Okay, the next one is -4 2/3. So, same thing. Draw your number line and 3 tick marks. Okay, we know that our center point is going to be the nearest whole number. So, you know your center point is going to be -4. And you go 1 up, 1 down. So, -3, -5. Okay, we need to figure out what that is. So, when we're dealing with fractions and we have our phones for a calculator, okay, you need to do the same thing. You can turn your phone sideways or not. It doesn't matter on this one. You're going to do the fraction part first. So a fraction bar means divide. So on your phone, you're going to say 2 divided by 3. So you're going to say 2 divided by 3. And that gives us the decimal part. That just gives us the fraction part. But we know it's 4, so you're going to say +4. Oops, my bad. 2 divided by 3. Okay, and you're going to say +4. And that gives us our thing, but it's negative, so you can hit that plus or minus button on your phone, and that's our decimal of that number, okay? So -4.6, and we really only need it to 1 decimal place. So this one really is approximately, and these little squiggly bars, they're not very good on here, but that means approximately -4.6. So we need to think about where does that go, okay? Does it go closer to the 5, closer to the 3, okay? And it's closer to the 5, but it's about halfway between 4 and 5, okay? Maybe a little bit more. So over here, and you're going to say -4 2/3. That's our fraction. That's how we denote that point, okay? Okay, the next one says 3.5. So draw your number line. And we need 3 tick marks. What's going to be your center point number? Okay, think about what your center point number should be. We use the nearest whole number, so it's going to be 3. And we go 1 up, 1 down. So 2 and 4. And it's 3.5, so 350. So it's going to go between the 3 and the 4. 3.5. Okay, most of these decimal ones aren't too hard. The fraction and the square root ones, it's just a matter of kind of figuring out what the number is, okay? So, quit repeating me. Okay, the next one is negative, or not negative, 4.8. Okay, draw your number line, your 3 tick marks. Our center number is going to be 4. And we're going to go 1 up, 1 down. So 3 and 5. And 4.8, is that closer to the 3, closer to the 5, right by the 4? Okay, it's 480. And I swear to God, I think I did this one earlier. I could be wrong, but so it's going to be somewhere closer to the 5. So, and it's 4.8. Okay? The next one, okay, number 7. I want you guys to try to figure out what that number is on your calculator by yourself. Okay, so try to figure out real quick what's the decimal approximation for a square root of 32. Okay, so get your calculator out and figure out what that number is as a decimal. Somebody, you know who I'm talking to. I just sent you a message back, so I'm not going to call you out in front of everybody. Okay, a square root of 32. Look, I forgot to do it. No, got sidetracked. Okay, so you got to turn your phone sideways in order for this to work. Make sure your auto rotate is on. So you're going to type in the number first, 32, and you're looking for that square root button. Okay, so the square root button you're going to say is right here, and it's 5.6. Okay, so if you got 5.6, kudos. So our decimal approximation is 5.6. Now, our center number then should be at 5. And you're going to go 1 up and 1 down. So 4 and 6. Okay, 5.6 is going to be somewhere right in between 5 and 6, around the halfway mark. So put a little dot and label it square root of 32. Okay, now you guys are going to do 8 through 14, okay, and then scroll down to the bottom section. Now, these ones aren't meant to be hard. Some of them you will need your calculator, some of them you won't, okay? Now, here's what I will tell you. Some things, let me pause this video and turn it